Assassin's Creed Valhalla's title patch 1.3.1 is dropping on September 7th, and with it comes a brand new chunk of content, a bunch of rebalancing, and of course some new armor and weapons. Hey there friends, it's Codiak here, and let's dive in and check out what to expect with another Valhalla title update. River raids are back in the mix, and if you're bored, looking for something to do in the game, you'll be happy to know that 3 new rivers are being introduced as part of Title Patch 1.3.1. I wouldn't expect a ton of deviation from the previous river raids, but as with that first set, there are a number of new rewards players can track down and obtain. Title Patch 1.3.1 introduces the new Lugs armor set as well as 5 new weapons, and Ubisoft was quick to point out that there is a one-handed sword in the mix. For anyone that didn't pick up the Siege of Paris DLC, now is your chance to get a one-handed sword without paying a dime. To balance out the power discrepancies on the raids, players will also be able to upgrade their Jomsviking Hall to level 5, which will allow Jomsviking to carry more rations and do more damage. The same level 5 upgrades also apply to your longship's cargo hold. The 3 new rivers being introduced are the Erith, the Berba, and the Rhine. While raiding the various monasteries on the rivers, be on the lookout for 3 new abilities, and I have to admit, I'm actually very excited about these. Usually I get a new ability, try it out once, and never use it again, but this new crop actually might make it into my standard rotation. Spinning Harpoon allows Eivor to perform a spinning attack that can be combined with other harpoon-based abilities, and enemies caught in the spin are knocked back. Percussion Arrow hits an enemy shield to create a shockwave that staggers and damages nearby enemies, and Precision Axe Throw allows Eivor to perform a devastating axe throw that targets an enemy's weak point. Like I said, not a bad set compared to some of the more lackluster additions in the past. I would imagine you'll be able to pick up at least 1 ability per river, so keep your eyes peeled. I mentioned balance changes at the start of the video, and unlike some of the finicky tweaks of the past, this rebalancing is actually a pretty big deal. The first step is a change to the way weapon runes function. Starting on September 7th, most runes will independently affect the weapons they're socketed in. That means if you're stacking attack runes on one weapon and stun runes on another, you're only seeing those effects on the weapons they're socketed in. This is a relatively big change and actually a decent nerf, but Ubisoft is trying to counterbalance this with another change. The team has removed the cap that prevented perks and runes from stacking beyond a certain threshold. There's been a lot of speculation and investigation into various caps surrounding the stats in the game. It looks like Ubisoft is, one, confirming that was a thing, but before we can get all fired up about it, they're just removing the cap. If you're pushing endgame content with full loadouts of gear and runes, I would imagine this is going to greatly counteract the previous change and actually end up buffing your character. Like I said, this is a pretty big deal, but until we get our hands on September 7th, it's hard for me to say or imagine just how much of an impact this will actually have. In terms of balancing, players will also be happy to know that short swords, scythes, and sickles will now be buffed via the skill tree. Great sword nodes will improve short swords, spear nodes will improve scythes, and Seeks nodes will improve sickles. Unless this is just a visual change, players should notice substantial buffs to these 3 weapon types if they've got a fully loaded skill tree. Title Patch 1.3.1 also introduces a brand new difficulty into the game, Nightmare. Players will receive 200% more damage, they'll inflict a standard amount of damage, rations will heal for 40% less, and the parry window is 38% smaller. If you're someone that's been screaming for more challenging content, well, there you go. To round out the content update, Ubisoft is giving away a free set of tattoo cosmetics called Odin's Blessing. I actually think this is really cool since these items were designed by members of the Assassin's Creed community, and good on Ubisoft for actually giving these away for free. Players can log into Ubisoft Connect on September 7th and claim these at no cost. There's no mention of an end date for these rewards, if any, so make sure to log in and claim them before it's too late. And to round out our quick look at the patch notes, there is a slew of bug fixes that I won't rattle off here because we'll all be dead by the time I finish, so if you're stuck on a particular quest or something in the game isn't working for you, check out the list of changes and see if your issue is being addressed. In typical Ubisoft fashion, it's a beefy list, so take a gander. As always, the Ubisoft team is forging ahead with their plans to make Assassin's Creed Valhalla a living world and the most expansive game in the series' long history. And while river raids may not be everyone's favorite content, it sure as heck something to do while we wait for the next DLC. As always, we'll be keeping a close eye on the game, so if you love Assassin's Creed and you want to follow along with our adventures, do me a solid and hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. We also invite you to join us on Discord. We've got a great community of around 7,000 members with a special section dedicated just for Assassin's Creed, so check out the link below to join today. Finally, if you like everything we're doing here at Legacy Gaming and you want to help us out even more, you can now do so by becoming a member. For just a couple bucks, you're helping evolve the channel and take our community to that next level. Check out the join button below to learn more. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.